So we're now here the day after Anthony Joshua versus Otto Wallin and Deontay Wilder versus Joseph Parker, the Day of Reckoning event. And we're now here to say who we think everyone's next opponents on that card should be. And we're going through everyone on the card, starting from the winners and the losers, starting from top. We're starting from top to bottom.
Yeah, so Junior Sanchez.
No, we're starting from top to bottom. AJ first, and then we're going down.
Yeah.
So first of all, for Anthony Joshua, I don't know, we might have the same one here. I've gone with Anthony Joshua's next fight, someone else who was on the card, and that is Filip Hrgović for the vacant IBF title once Fury and Usyk fight. Obviously, whoever wins that will have to vacate that title, and then the winner of and then that means AJ and Hrgović will then have to fight for it, as they're the two top mandatories in the IBF.
I'm thinking, Hrgović or Joseph Parker rematch.
I don't think there's any point in the Joseph Parker rematch. AJ and Hrgović, I think they've got
Parker's
the idea.
deserved a world title fight.
Yeah, but
from his performance last night.
Okay.
Hrgović
has to fight because he's number one in
mandatory.
the IBF. Hrgović has to fight. He's number one in the IBF.
So he's
second's now AJ, so it makes
sense.
For that
is going to happen.
So AJ and Hrgović is the fight, and I think it's going to happen as well.
As
obviously Wilder lost, so it puts that fight, it puts that world title fight out there for AJ. Yeah. Okay, next up we've got Otto Wallin. We'll probably have different ones here. We'll go with you first.
I've gone with someone who was on the last Saudi Arabia card, Simon Keane.
Really?
Joseph Parker.
Okay. Why do you think that?
I just think it's a decent comeback fight for him. His performance, I just think. Fair play to AJ. He looked sharp, and even though I've been slagging him off recently, you've just got to give him some credit.
AJ looked fantastic last night. He absolutely dismantled Wallin, breaking him down.
I did expect a
jab looking good, footwork good, breaking him down to the body. It's a great performance by AJ, dismantling Wallin.
I did expect a little bit more from Wallin, and I can imagine Wallin would have wanted to go out on his shield. But fair play to the corner as they know that, because it was sort of like AJ threw, I can't remember what shot it was, and then he sort of turned his back.
AJ threw like a massive straight right. And it's a great performance from AJ.
Also,
good to see him
if I'm honest, I could see if that went longer, I could have, the next two rounds, I reckon AJ would have knocked him out.
Before we go on to that Wallin fight, we both said Hrgović, just before we talked about we both said Hrgović for AJ. How do you see that fight going? Because I think AJ can win that fight.
I reckon AJ does it in 6.
I think AJ wins that fight in easier fashion to how he beat Wallin, or very similar fashion. I think AJ destroys Hrgović. We'll get on to Hrgović a bit later on.
For Wallin, I think
AJ destroys Hrgović.
Simon Keane's a decent opponent for him, and I think that'd be a good fight for him.
Yeah. Okay, obviously you might have just saw my notes.
No, I haven't.
But, okay. I put for Otto Wallin, Kubrat the Cobra Pulev for that fight. It's just a suggestion. I doubt that would be one that happens. Your one could be likely. But I think Wallin should fight Pulev. I think, obviously, Pulev's coming off a win. He fought last week. I think it's a good fight, and I feel like Wallin's going to want to get in there against a tough opponent. Wallin never really likes to be fighting easy opposition ever since he's had these steps up. So I think Wallin should fight Pulev. It's a good fight, which I think is winnable for Otto Wallin.
100%, and So should we Parker?
So next up, Joseph Parker, the winner of the main event last night.
Co-main.
Of the co-main event last night. I'll start off first. So I've got Joseph Parker versus Zhilei Zhang.
Ooh.
That's the fight that I want to see.
I had that on my notes.
You in a sec.
But I changed it to something else.
Yeah, I think it's a great fight. Parker boxed really well against Wilder yesterday. I think he's earned himself a big fight, and Zhang's up there in the top 5 in my opinion. Real top contender in that. Well, WBO mandatory as well, and I believe Parker's also up there in the WBO. So I think it makes sense for Zhang and Parker to fight. I see it. I'm suggesting it, but I also do think it's fairly likely we could see this one as well. Joseph Parker and Zhang. I think it's a great fight, real 50-50. Interesting styles as well, that clash. Who do you say for Parker?
Well, I had 3 names, then I rubbed them out because you said AJ was going to fight Hrgović, and then we agreed. And then I had Zhilei, and then or Zilly, however you say it. And then I put Andy Ruiz rematches. He was there last night.
Okay, yeah.
And I think Joseph's one up on him at the minute.
Yeah, he is. So
And
it was a
it
good
wouldn't
one the
surprise
first time.
me if Ruiz tries to chuck himself back in the mix. Very impressed with Parker last night, and as it pains me to say, but he was great. I mean, and it looked like he had the power in there out of the two of them, and he had Wilder hurt at times as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm saying Ruiz. But again, I think the Zhang fight is highly likely.
Yeah.
I think. But yeah, Ruiz will definitely try and put his name back in the mix.
Okay, so next up we've got the loser of the co-main event last night.
You keep saying
His favourite co-main event last night. His favourite fighter, Deontay Wilder. I'll go first because obviously he's not exactly my favourite, is he? Don't really like him. But for Deontay Wilder, you'll find this one interesting. I still feel like this is a big fight out there for him that brings in money, and it's a fight that could happen in Saudi Arabia, and I think it still makes sense. And that is Deontay Wilder versus Francis Ngannou. I still think it's a fight which sells pay-per-views and could happen, and it brings in the money. It could be a last retirement fight for Wilder, which I do think it's the fight that Wilder still could win, even though he looked awful last night. But I feel like it's still a big money fight out there for Wilder, and I don't see Wilder really wanting to take any easy fights or step back into kind of warm-up. I feel like even though Ngannou, you never know you never know what you'll get from him, but I think it's still a fight that can sell. And I think it's a money fight that Wilder will want to take in Saudi Arabia. So I think it could happen.
Thing is, I don't think this is...
Even though we lost.
This is... Yeah.
Anyway.
Yes. I think that's highly likely he'll take the money fight. But as a fan of his, I think he should have one, sort of easy... another warm-up sort of fight. Yeah. And then let's go for a last big roll of the dice and see where you can go.
Yeah.
I've gone with Pulev or Gaziev.
If you had to pick one, who would you say? But yeah, interesting too.
I would say Pulev.
Okay.
Bigger name.
Yeah, fair enough. So
okay. I would say.
So you think you should go for a warm-up one or something? Fair enough. And Gaziev's a good, interesting one as well. He can box really well.
So I think there will be two good fights, and then he may as well just go for a last one big push.
Which could be Ngannou, basically.
Yeah.
The AJ fight's off the table, in my opinion. But the thing is... I think AJ's moving on to better things
The thing is, if he beats Gaziev or Pulev...
I think the second best... Yeah, if he can get through something like that, go for the Ngannou fight. So I think...
And he could...
I think that's
that AJ fight's still on the table.
I don't think the AJ fight's on the table for Wilder anymore.
And
AJ's moving on to better things.
It depends how much now, after that... how much the Fury 3 fights took out of him.
I think that AJ will. I think AJ will beat Hrgovic. Then if Fury beats Usyk, then I think AJ will fight Fury.
Wilder beats Hrgovic.
I don't see AJ wanting to fight Wilder. I don't think it's. I don't think there's any point. I think AJ destroys Wilder after seeing that yesterday. I don't think there's any point.
He said he'd still entertain the fight.
Yeah, but I don't think he should. He should just go on to the bigger fights now, which I think are Hrgovic. But Hrgovic for a world title, and then Fury if he beats Usyk. And then Wilder, second biggest fight out there for him, which isn't AJ. But I don't think Wilder should fight AJ because I think AJ beats him now. Hopefully, but yeah, I think the second next biggest fight out there for Wilder, which isn't AJ, is Ngannou.
Fight Zhang or somebody.
Next up, we're gonna go into. I
agree.
I've ended up putting Daniel Dubois and Miller above Bivol and Linden. Should we go with Bivol first, though? The winner of the... Oh, boy.
Oh, my day. I got to think of on the spot for Dubois and Miller because I forgot to put them on my thing.
Okay, well, we'll just go with them now quickly.
Yeah.
So, Daniel Dubois obviously got a big win over Jarrell Miller last night. I've gone with an interesting fight for Daniel Dubois. Someone who was actually meant to be on this card but wasn't. I think he was injured or something. I've gone with Daniel Dubois versus Martin Bakole. I think it's a great fight, to be honest with you. Bakole unbeaten, Daniel Dubois coming off a big win. I think it's a great fight that could be made, in my opinion, on a Saudi card as well. I think we should get that one made, Dubois and Bakole. Who are you saying for Daniel?
I agree.
You're saying Bakole as well.
I think that would be a hell of a fight, and I think the winner of that could eventually try and get.
I think you'll
himself back
agree
into the
with
World
me
Title.
for Miller as well. I think you'll agree with me for Miller.
Yeah,
I've put Jerome Miller versus Derek Ward Chisora. I think it's a great style matchup. Obviously, Chisora said he's not retiring, so I feel like getting him in there with Miller, I think it's a great fight, and press conferences would be fantastic as well, and I think the fight would be a war.
Personally, I think he should retire.
Jerome Miller?
Personally.
Fair enough, fair enough.
But I think if he doesn't, I don't think he will though. I think he'll I think he'll still fight.
I think the Chisora fight makes sense, yeah.
It does make sense.
Okay. Next up, we've got Dimitri Bivol. This is obvious.
Winner of Smith Beterbiev.
Yeah, I've got the exact same. Winner of Beterbiev versus Callum Smith. That it's got to happen. If they've got to make this fight happen in 2024. Undisputed
When is that fight?
in the lightweight.
Is it?
Yeah, 13th. Undisputed in the light heavyweight division.
Soon that fight.
Yeah, it's got to happen. Few weeks, yes, got to happen. Bivol versus
and
the winner
it
of
more
that.
likely happen in Saudi Arabia. And I think Bivol Smith. Our prediction with Smith and Beterbiev will be out soon.
Yeah,
and we'll do one soon. But yeah, Bivol. Like, he was good, and he's there, Lyndon's down there. It was a matter of levels yesterday.
Bivol, yeah.
And he dropped Lyndon. He could have got Lyndon out of there if he really, stepped it up. But overall, just won every single round and done what he needed to do.
Okay, next up, Lyndon Arthur, the loser of that fight last night. I've got Lyndon Arthur versus Willie Hutchinson. I don't know, he might go further down, but do you think it makes sense?
Well, funny enough, as you say that, I've gone with another sort of. Well, I've gone with two, but I'll try and just say one. I look at them out. I'm actually thinking somebody wouldn't say domestic sort of area. I'm saying like Lorraine Richards or something.
Oh yeah. I was actually considering that when I was looking at the rankings actually, but. No, I've gone with Willie Hutchinson for, but yeah, Lorraine Richards is a good, interesting opponent for Arthur as well. So yeah, we've gone with fights around similar level for him and stuff. Yeah,
and then there was Conor Wallace as well, who's an upcoming Australian. He's 11-0, but I would prefer to see him fight Lorraine.
Mm-hmm. But I think that's a good fight. Two good fights we got there. Anyway, next up, we'll go with Kabayel first, winner of last night's fight against Makhmudov. Who have you gone with first? We'll go with you first for this one.
I was going to say Chisora, but now I'm just going to say Frank Sanchez.
Oh, you've gone with the same as me for Caballero. Yeah, I've gone with Frank Sanchez for Caballero as well. I think it's a great fight. Frank Sanchez will look to box. Caballero's going to look to go in there, take his head off. And Caballero was actually boxing really well against Makhmudov yesterday. Proved Makhmudov was a bit of a hype job as well. So
I wouldn't go that far. I think Makhmudov started.
He was massively overhyped. Massively overhyped. And I did say in my.
You were saying Wilder's Zhang and stuff. You said you didn't say. I overreacted. You didn't say that he would beat them, but you said it would be a good fight.
I said that Caballero would absolutely destroy Makhmudov because I said that. I said that
you did say Makhmudov Wilder could be a good fight. You did.
For a comeback fight for Wilder. I said that when Wilder lost, not when Wilder won.
No, you said that before the fight.
I said
both fights.
I said after the Wilder fight, he could fight Makhmudov because it's a good combat fight for him because Makhmudov's hittable. I've always said, in my prediction videos, you can go back. I said Carlos Takam massively exposed Makhmudov and Caballero would be able to do the job, and I was right with that. I never said he. Anyway,
Wait, who were you talking about? Oh, yeah.
Oh wait, sorry. Are we talking about Makhmudov or Caballero? Wait, no, we're saying.
We were saying Caballero v Frank Sanchez.
Caballero versus Frank Sanchez should happen in my opinion. That 100%. We both said that.
That'd be a good fight.
Yeah, and then Makhmudov, we've obviously said. Well,
Jonathan Rice, the American.
Okay, I've also gone with another American for Makhmudov's comeback fight. Could be a bit of a hard one for him.
You're saying? Oh, I think I know.
I'm saying Michael Hunter for Makhmudov. I think it's a good comeback fight for Makhmudov. It's a winnable fight, but it's also a losable fight for Makhmudov as well. I think it's a good fight. Will it happen? Probably not, but I think it's a fight that makes sense.
I think he'll go down there sort of a few more. Yeah.
Fair enough.
And then build back up.
Okay. Next up, we got the winner. Obviously last night, Opatea.
Just an absolute monster.
We know who he should be fighting. Yeah, he is.
Bilham Smith or Breeders.
I've gone with Breeders. I've gone Breeders. Yeah, I think it's the fight that he's obviously got a win over him already, but he was the mandatory for his IBF. And the first fight was fantastic, and the rematch will be massive as well. Yeah. It must happen.
That knockout last night. I mean, talk about Zorro. I think Zorro was actually calm. He didn't get hit. Not enough punches were really thrown. I thought Zorro was doing well at the first, and then just soon as you drop your hands, that's when Opetaya just goes lights out. Like because as soon as that backhand landed flush, then it was over.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Opetaya and Breedis is the fight that makes sense, and then he can fight Billam Smith or Riyad.
And people, Brits might not like me for this, but I think many people and yourself can agree. Billam Smith, Jai Opetaya beats Billam Smith in 6 rounds.
Yeah, easily. Riyadpour and Opetaya would be a good fight. I'd want to see that. I think Opetaya wins, but
I think
it'd be a better fight than
Opetaya is just another level, and maybe one day we'll see him at heavyweight and see what he can do.
Yeah, be interesting.
Okay,
next up we've got Ellis Zorro.
Thing is with Zorro, he'll go down like a European guy. That's what he was doing. He was building his record up. He didn't look for those domestic fights that he could should maybe look for an English title or something. Try get himself in the domestic scene for a British or something.
Yeah.
But I've gone with Felix Valera. I'm not. He's 22-5 from. I'm not sure where he's from, but he's 22-5, and he'll sort of go with a European, somebody like that.
Yeah. Next, for Zorro, I've gone with Mikhail Lawler.
Oh, Lawler.
I think it's a good fight for Zorro. Both 17-1. I think it's a good combat fight for him around his level as well.
And Miguel as well, because he was former British champion, and his combat fight for both. Of course, Lawler last time lost to Isaac Chamberlain, who's a pretty good fighter as well. So
yeah, I think
that could be a good fight. But I think they'll both have another fight before that. But maybe that could happen.
Yeah, I think for Zorro, there's some interesting options. Kind of go back down the European route. I think it's clear he's not at one level.
He's still got that WBO European. I think.
He has. Opetaya proved that his levels above Zorro, and I think Opetaya also proves that his levels above everyone in that cruiserweight division. Beats absolutely everyone in my opinion.
Imagine Opetaya in heavyweight with. Like a great, I'm thinking of some.
I know he's a small guy. He'll be a small guy for heavyweight.
I know, but I was thinking of some but yeah.
Okay, next up, obviously for Hrgović, we've said AJ. For Mark Demori, retirement. 41. What on earth was that performance? Though I've already made a video on that. Turning his head away, like he was actually pinning some good shots against Hrgović, which is why I think AJ absolutely destroys Hrgović, because Hrgović was actually getting hit easily. But every time Demori got hit,
every shot hurt him.
But yeah, every shot hurt Demori. But yeah, AJ destroys Hrgović.
Not being rude, you have to, because it's just for your own benefit. You should retire.
Yeah, that was embarrassing.
He took that fight for the money.
That was embarrassing.
He was just hoping like it was just land. But
absolutely embarrassing to watch that fight. Jesus Christ. Anyway, next up, Frank Sanchez.
We said
Caballero. Okay, Frank Sanchez is next. We've said Caballero. And Junior Farr, the last one.
Could happen against Sanchez.
Yeah,
would you see that fight? Could happen.
Could happen.
Coley.
Yeah,
Sanchez.
Next up, we've got our last one, Junior Farr. This is an interesting fight.
Interesting.
This isn't. We'll hear from you first.
Because I've gone with two. I want to just say both, just because in fact.
Okay.
One, I'll say the first one, Fabio Wardley.
Okay. Yeah.
And then the second one, Dempsey McKean.
Okay. Fair enough.
At this stage of his career, he's just going to take these big fights and just hope. Because his heart, he's got a heart of a lion, and he did. I wouldn't say rock Sanchez, but he definitely tagged him.
Yeah, a bit, but he didn't do anything too.
And then that's when Sanchez, he just got a bit greedy. But Farr's a decent level, and I think he could be a decent step up for someone like Wardley, and a sort of comeback fight for Dempsey McKean after Dempsey McKean's defeat to Hrgović. So those fights could potentially happen, in my opinion.
Okay, fair enough.
They're big fights
for me, Junior Farr. I want to see him fight David Adeleye. I think it's I think, I think David Adelaide needs a tough comeback fight, and I feel like Junior Farr will be able to cause David Adelaide problems. I think Adelaide beats him, but I think Junior Farr can cause him problems. He was able to, get a good rhythm going before he got knocked out against Sanchez, and I think him and Adelaide's a good scrap in my opinion, and it's a good name for Adelaide to get on his record after a defeat against Wardley, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the video. They're what we think.
Before we go, who do you think's whose performance were you impressed most?
AJ, I think he just, we just needed to see some kind of performance like that from AJ. Did all the right things.
Parker.
I think AJ and Parker fantastic last night.
Who would you say knockout of the night?
I
can't. Oh, I thought AJ Cannibal. I actually
Caballero, I think.
He was. I was impressed by him actually.
The three fighters impressed the most in my opinion. AJ, Parker, and Caballero.
People saying I've seen comments saying Jai, but I wouldn't say he was.
Yeah, it was obvious he's winning.
Yeah. That's
anyway, guys, that's the video. Thank you for watching the video, Keels. That's everyone's next fight on the Day of Reckoning card. Thanks for watching.